Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tracking the exact step-by-step evolution of Warren Buffett's mindset. We're going to demystify how he built a massive fortune without inheriting extreme wealth or, inventing a single piece of breakthrough technology. Instead, we're looking at a total masterclass in psychology, compound interest, and just sheer adaptability. All right, let's jump right in with his two most famous rules. Rule 1, don't lose, and Rule 2, don't forget Rule 1. Sounds simple, right? Buying things for far below what they're actually worth ensures you essentially don't lose money. But, getting to the point where you can identify those rare opportunities, that took decades of profound personal evolution. Era 1, the boy from Omaha. To really understand the billionaire, we've got to start with a shy kid born in Omaha in 1930, whose profound respect for the dollar was forged by watching the devastating struggles of the Great Depression firsthand. And his childhood hustles escalated rapidly. This wasn't just your average kid setting up a lemonade stand. At age 6, he was buying 6 packs of Coca-Cola from his grandfather's grocery store and selling them door to door for a 5-cent profit. By 14, he's running competing paper routes, bringing in over $3,000 a month in today's money. Then he buys pinball machines, splits the profits with a local barber, sells the business, and buys a 40-acre farm. Literally a 15-year-old landlord. But his most vital early lesson? That came at age 11, when he bought his very first stock. So he buys shares in an oil and gas company at roughly $38. The price immediately drops to 27. He holds on, feeling all that anxiety, and then panic sells the second it hits $40 to secure this tiny profit. But then, he had to sit back and watch that exact same stock skyrocket to over $200 a share. Ouch. That sting cemented a crucial principle. Time in the market absolutely beats timing the market. He realized the game wasn't about guessing daily fluctuations, but holding good companies for the long haul. Era 2, the cigar butt strategy. Despite heading to Columbia University to study under legendary economist Benjamin Graham, Buffett actually had a crippling fear of public speaking. He would literally throw up from nerves. Forcing himself through a public speaking course became his best personal investment, allowing him to actually communicate the genius strategies he was learning. Starting in 1956, he applied Graham's strict mathematical approach, which has this great name, cigar butt investing. The idea is, if you find a discarded cigar on the street, it might be gross, but hey, there's at least one free puff left in it. Applied to the market, it meant hunting for dying businesses, trading so unbelievably cheap that their raw liquidation value, literally just selling off their desks and equipment, was worth more than the stock price. Mathematically, it was a risk-free free puff. And get this, operating completely alone out of his bedroom and looking about 18 even in his 20s, Buffett put this strategy to work. For the clients who trusted him, he secured an average 29.5% compound annual return from 1956 to 1969. He was crushing the overall market by a factor of 4. Era 3, the Berkshire Hathaway pivot. By 1969, the market was booming, so Buffett dissolved his partnership. During this time, he bought cheap shares in a failing textile mill called Berkshire Hathaway. But when the owner tried to cheat him out of a 13-cent margin on a verbal agreement, Buffett was absolutely infuriated. Out of pure spite, he bought a controlling stake in the whole company just so he could fire the guy. So now he owns a dying textile business, and the economic environment had completely shifted. Just like modern investors are forced to pivot during high inflation, often hedging with real assets like art to protect their portfolios, Buffett knew his old strategy was totally dead. Sticking to his old ways would mean sinking with the ship. Adaptability was absolutely key to surviving. This was the turning point of his entire career. Influenced by his partner Charlie Munger, Buffett realized he couldn't just keep buying dying companies simply because they were cheap. He completely reversed his philosophy. Instead of Benjamin Graham's fair companies at great prices, he adopted Munger's mantra, buy great companies at fair prices. Berkshire Hathaway wouldn't be a textile company anymore. It was going to become a holding firm for truly excellent businesses. Era 4, discovering the economic moat. He stopped looking at just the raw balance sheet and started looking at the fundamental power of the brand itself, hunting for a very specific competitive advantage. He called this an economic moat. It acts exactly like a medieval castle's defense system. It's that intrinsic advantage a business has that repels competitors and protects its profits over decades. The question is, if a competitor tries to steal your customers, how hard is it for them to cross your moat? The most famous example of this is a brand he knew very well. Think back to that 6-year-old boy selling sodas door to door. Decades later, Buffett bought 7% of Coca-Cola. Why? Because Coca-Cola has an impenetrable moat. It has over a century of brand history. When you think of a soft drink, you think of Coke. That deep, deep psychological connection with billions of people is an advantage that a new competitor simply cannot replicate, no matter how much cash they burn. Era 5, the insurance master stroke. So he had the philosophy, right? But to buy massive stakes in giants like Coca-Cola or American Express, he needed monumental amounts of capital, which leads us to the ultimate billionaire-making masterstroke of his career.
The secret lies in insurance. Buffett started acquiring insurance companies like National Indemnity and Geico. The magic of this model is that customers pay premiums every single month, but the company only pays out when claims are actually filed. This leaves a massive pool of unpaid cash known as the float. Buffett brilliantly used this continuously replenishing float as a free financial engine to fund his grade A stock acquisitions.
He used other people's premium payments to buy the most dominant companies in America and just kept the profits. This compounding loop was a real game changer. It transformed Berkshire Hathaway from a failing textile mill into a financial juggernaut. Just look at the growth. From $11 a share in 1965 to $290 by the late 70s, absolutely skyrocketing to $7,000 a share by 1990. This strategic evolution grew his personal net worth beyond $100 billion. By 2008, he was literally the richest man on Earth. Yet, despite this astronomical wealth, the man himself never really changed from that careful kid in Omaha. His extreme frugality remains legendary. I mean, he still drives a 2014 Cadillac and famously grabs breakfast at the McDonald's drive-thru on his way to the office. We've tracked his journey from a nervous kid learning harsh lessons to a man literally sick to his stomach at the thought of public speaking, all the way to an unmatched financial tycoon. His wealth isn't magic, it's the pure result of compounding logic and adaptability. Which leaves us with one final, crucial question to ask ourselves. In a market completely obsessed with speculation and overnight success, are you playing the long game?